Welcome back, everybody. How are we doing today? Still buzzing, still celebrating, still hungover? Let me know how you guys are enjoying your day. It is now what, almost 24, about 24 hours or so after a big win at Anfield. But you're back here because we have some things to go over. This is United versus everybody. If this is your first time, I'm Sean. If this is your first time, nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping by, checking out the channel. We're going to dive into it today. We did an instant match reaction yesterday. Go back and watch that. You haven't yet today. Today, we are taking a little bit more of a reflective approach, um, doing my three thoughts. You guys know I've always typically done like three thoughts after the match. Now, they're not like hey, these are the only things. These are just three things that stuck out to me, three questions I might have, three observations, whatever. You guys can have your own. I'm sure everybody's got their own. It's not a big deal, but we're going to dive into that today. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check those memberships out. There is that WhatsApp group now. There's tons of stuff getting shared in there as well. And go check out the United vs. Everybody store. Get in your Mbumo emojis as well for scoring that beast goal just a minute in the match. So, and then get involved in the chat. There is a poll. I did put a poll in there. I want to know what you guys think because I've seen some people go back and forth about this. What's better when it comes to beating Liverpool? What's better, beating Liverpool at Anfield, i.e. like we did yesterday, or beating them at home at Old Trafford, i.e. FA Cup quarterfinal 2 years ago? Let me know your thoughts on that. I want to know. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. So we'll call that today's question from a boot. But it is in the chat. So you guys, we usually will do a question from a boot now and then. Those are available for starting 11 and Legends members to get involved in as well. There is a community post where you can get in your suggestions for questions from a boot, what if episode ideas, and scouting report player ideas. Go check that out as well. Let me get involved in the chat here. Danny B in the house. Big up, dude. Hope you're doing well, man. Yes, please hit that like button on your way in, guys. It's free. It helps the channel. Also, yep, subscribe if you are new. And if you have a couple moments after the video is done, go back to some of the old streams and underneath on your phone, do this on your phone. I think it's only available on your phone. Go through and hit the hype button. It's below the video where it says share, super tip, whatever. If you scroll over a little bit, there's a little thing that says hype. Please do that for me if you get a couple seconds. It's YouTube's new way of trying to get the channels to grow rather than just, likes and views and stuff. They always make it complicated, but it would help the channel a lot. It is free, and I do appreciate that. So thank you. Danny's still buzzing. Just got home from work. Nice. You got, is it raining there? Rained a little bit off and on here yesterday. Seems like it's just that time of the year, right? Usually around fall. I mean, I remember one year we had snow on Halloween. This was probably like 4 years ago or so. So I don't know what it's like over in Beantown, but I know you guys are near the water, so it is what it is. Danny says, yes, it does take 24 hours. He did hype. Awesome. Appreciate that. My Irish brother from another mother, my South American scout. You guys ever want to have any questions about players from South America, talk to Danny. We might be talking about a little bit of South American youngsters either tomorrow or Wednesday because in a huge shock, Morocco are under 20 World Cup winners after what really can only be described as an absolute dominant performance against Argentina. Argentina were heavy favorites. I think they've won that competition so many times. Morocco coming in as underdogs, but they just absolutely destroyed Argentina. Argentina just couldn't do anything. I thought they were second best overall in the night. I thought they were a little too heavy in terms of pushing the ball to the left, getting it to Prestiani, who plays for Benfica. Then they had a lot of other options. I thought some of these players were a bit let down. We'll talk a little bit more about them in my best 11 video. So I will be doing a best 11 video for that. So I've got 11 players in each position. I did a 4-3-3. I'll go through and kind of highlight that and call it like a mini scouting report. But we'll do that later on this week as well. Along with the Brighton preview, we'll be previewing the Brighton match as well. So hope everybody, Danny forgot about it. Just Noah. Big up, yeah! Justin. Justin gets, dude. You tell Noah, all right, when he's gathering two of everything, for his arc, right? He can take two matches where he drops points to Ruben Amorim. Since Ruben Amorim's dropped, so take two of those. He can take 2 goals conceded yesterday, take 2 of those, and then he can take 2 of these, sail off into the sunset on his arc. How's that sound? Big up. I'm here for the rivalry. Slash is enjoying the Scouts tears. Awesome. Speaking of Scouts tears, let me just it tastes so good. Remember, we filtered these off of Harry Maguire's forehead and we soaked them in Virgil van Dijk's man bun. So they taste so good. A little bitter, a little salty, but so good. But Scouse Tears, you'll always cry alone. Just get your bottle today. Available at Walmart. Sounds like Danny forgot about the World Cup. Big up. No, it's not a big deal, man. The final was last night. It was a little late, but it was kind of a boring final in terms of just performance. It's just Argentina were just second best. Big up, Rob. Good to see you again, man. We will be talking. We will be talking about that later on this week. He might be there Sunday. He better not be, man, because I'm gonna straight up cook this fool. Noah's a good guy. But it's all up to him, right? It's like karate. I don't go looking for a fight, but I will be there with self-defense, yeah, in case I need it. So, but big up, you guys. Speaking of shock, though, real quick before we dive into my 3 thoughts and whatnot, prayers for a speedy recovery for former Red Diego Forlan. He, I guess, played in like a veterans match for old boys and broke a couple ribs and got a collapsed punctured lung or something after colliding with another player. He rushed immediately to the hospital. They had to drain his lung and then fill it back up a bit, but he does have some broken ribs and everything. So praying for a speedy recovery for Diego Forlan, a little bit of a cult hero at United. But yeah, big injury for him, man. Hopefully he recovers well. Roman's in the house. How you been doing? How you guys doing today? Enjoying your Monday? Still buzzing? Still hungover? Who showed up at work just walking in there like Vince McMahon? Just who works with some Scousers? That's a big question. Who works with some Liverpool fans? Did they show up? I want to know. I want to know how much banter you brought with you. How much chest did you bring? Did you rock? I know Dylan rolled up to work today rocking a jersey. You know Dylan's rocking a jersey. He always does that on match days and whatnot. So I have no problem with that. So all right, let's move on, you guys. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. Let's talk a little bit Arne Slot, because Arne Slot was talking a little bit of nonsense himself. Did you see this friggin' bullshit? We've seen Šeško play the last 3, 4, 5, or 6 times, but they go to Liverpool. They change the lineup. That's not the first time we faced a team and they've done that. What an absolute baby. What an absolute baby Arne Slot is. I mean, can you get more butthurt or deflective or falsely arrogant than Arne Slot after this? Sorry, Arne Slot, for not doing what you thought we were going to do. Apologies. Did you take a page out of Jurgen Klopp's playbook with that? You remember when Jurgen Klopp complained about our injuries? And that's why we threw him off when we had a good result there not a couple years ago. Like, it's so butthurt and whingy, man. Arne Slot also criticized us for playing long balls too, apparently. Not only is playing that way the way you beat a high pressing team, like that's your fault for throwing 7 players up. But this, and again, your star player Mo Salah has admitted, I'm leaving space in behind because I don't want to track back, basically. But also Liverpool completed 10 more long balls than we did yesterday. And our game plan was to exploit space they left in behind, kind of exploit Van Dijk a little bit by winning those, like not winning the long balls, winning the second ball. If you guys have seen a lot of videos already talking about it, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. The point was not to win the first ball. The point was to sit a little deeper, be patient, and win the second ball, which we did. I can't find any second ball stats. I can't really find them anywhere. If someone else left that, let me know. But just like calling it Route 1, dude, it's freaking annoying. I mean, and how many crosses did they put in yesterday? Talking about like Route 1 nonsense football, David Moyes levels of crosses into the box from Liverpool yesterday. How about stop whining too about McAllister? All right, refs don't have to stop play unless they deem it serious foul play. Like, they don't need to do that. The only person that fouled him was Van Dijk. Comes in with an elbow drop like Randy Savage, and then wants to blame Konate for not picking up Mbeumo. Like, absolute cowardly defending once again from Virgil van Dijk. To all the Liverpool fans crying about that as well, I don't recall any of you giving any sympathy to Newcastle a few years back when the same exact thing happened to a Newcastle player and you guys went and scored from it. So, again, take 2 of these, call me in the morning. Freaking annoying. But anyway, Slot is such a baby. How about score a goal with the money Liverpool spent on the players that you got in? It's like he thinks he's God's gift to the Premier League just because he went from Feyenoord to Liverpool. It went literally straight to his head. But that's typical for Liverpool over the last couple of years. As soon as they won a Premier League. You got guys like Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk and Klopp and Robertson acting like they're God's gift to the Premier League. And now Arne Slot's just getting a head start on it. Remember when he told a ref last year, like, oh, after some result, like, if we lose the league, it's your fault. Like, get off. Like, seriously, dude, give your head a wobble. You're an absolute fucking baby. Liverpool fans are already calling for his job, claiming, questions need to be asked, calling the money spent in the summer an absolute waste. Yeah, I think a lot of it was. Jamie Carragher's out here defending Florian Wirtz already, saying, oh, it's too soon to judge. It's only been, 7 or 8 games. Give us till December, January, and that'll be enough time to really see. Like, are you kidding me? This guy slated Ten Hag for the money we spent on Antony, who, A, Ten Hag doesn't decide the price. The club waited too long. And B, Antony scored on his debut for the club. So it's just typical Liverpool, man. Greedy, arrogant behavior in the summer. Arrogant from the players. Arrogant from the manager, dude. Absolute nonsense. Let me see what y'all got in here today. Slash says, my youngest son is 8. Yesterday was his first time seeing us win in Anfield. Well, that is an absolute awesome memory for the kid. Big up your son. Glad that you're raising a young red. If you do want some cool gear for him, we do have some kids clothing in the Unitedverse Everybody store. All of it says Future Red in training. So go check that out, Slash, when you get a second, bud. But I do think there might be a sale coming up. So let me check on that and let you know. But there are some things. There's even some onesies in there for the little tiny Future Reds. So I know, like the ones that are brand new, right? That's what you get. So they said pure slurry coming out of Slot's mouth. He's such a baby. He's an absolute baby. It's like a rule now for Liverpool managers. Klopp went full Mourinho in the last couple of years he was there, dude. Rob says, aren't getting slot down by everyone. Think the UK media might have a new target. Yeah, they're starting to lose a little patience for him. And that's fine. They should. I think it's absolute dog shit, the excuses and the behavior that comes out of them. He said the same last year, so he knew it was coming. Slash says, Klopp left his excuse book in the office for him. Yeah, he's got that wheel. Remember the wheel of excuses we put up on the channel? 12:30 kickoffs, Paul Tierney. Pitch was too wet. Pitch was too dry. Witches. Remember when Jurgen Klopp blamed witches? Yeah. Slash says, spamming crosses like, yeah, it's absolute Route 1 football. So he's got no room to talk, man. This is how you play against teams that play a high press and leave in space. You saw it with Ollie when we played Man City. He had Pep's number. You play the counterattack. Mo Salah literally said, I'm not going to track back, basically. So, hey, why not? And Kirkes, like, I fully agree with Gary Neville. Milos Kirkes, I feel like we sidestepped a landmine there because that kid looks like he's literally 15 years old. Like, he has no idea what he's doing. So I think Harry Amos is probably a little bit better than he is at this point. So, big up Jim in the house. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, Arne Slot clearly just being an absolute baby, dude. Actually, he looks like a baby too. He's just that big bald head, the pudgy cheeks. He looks like a little baby. Oh, but he's just crying, man. Just absolute crying. And I'm here for it. Inject it in my veins. I could use a refill on my Scout's tears anyway. So I am absolutely here for it. So, talk a little bit about tactics before we dive into my thoughts here, because there was a clear game plan, and we've been talking a little bit about system this, and I've questioned Ruben Amorim several times when it comes to opposition analysis, when it comes to preparation, when it comes to just kind of having a plan, and we had one yesterday. Again, we exploited it. Arne Slot can complain about long balls, but that was the point. Win those second balls, be a little compact. You saw we dropped back into like a 4-4-1 a lot off the ball, or 4-4-2, sorry. And or a 5-4-1, and it worked well. It didn't work 100% of the time. I thought we were still carved open a little too much sometimes, but it worked well. We were patient, and we were just focusing on winning those balls. Not one instance of us building out from the back, which is fine. With those 3 defenders, I would have been a little shaky too. And then if you saw like Liverpool pressing so high, leaving so many bodies high, it probably would have been suicide. But yeah, it was all long from Senelammans, win that second ball. And that's what Matthias de Ligt said after the match. He said we set out to basically exploit their fullbacks, their weakness, he called them, which is guys like Kirkes and Count Bradley. I think that's totally fine. Well, I thought, too, we pressed with energy, with aggression in midfield. I thought Cunha and Mount did very, very well. I don't know why Slot didn't start Frimpong. He changed things for them, I think, when he came on. He was giving Dorgu a hell of a time, so I think that would have been one to definitely look back on and say, yep, I should have started him. But I think Amorim did his homework. He went with a game plan, and it worked very, very well, similar to what we saw from like Ten Hag in the FA Cup final against City. Went in with a game plan, executed it to perfection, and won the match. And that's called management. Welcome to management. Slash says Cunha was sensational. Yeah, I have a special shout out for Cunha towards the end because I know he's going to get shit for not scoring or assisting, but people who only, and I know like it's weird to say like only goals and assists because that's football, but I think there's so much to be said about the work he's doing, and just imagine what will look like if he continues that up and he starts scoring goals. Like absolute scary hours out here. Yeah, we also talk in the preview about the stat where our results tend to be better when we have less possession of the ball. And another instance of that today, 36% of possession for us. Liverpool had about 64%. And again, it's a 2-1 win. We do better, especially against these high pressing sides now, when we just kind of chill for a hot second and then just look to exploit their overzealous behavior, basically. And really, Liverpool only looked dangerous when we took our foot off the gas. I didn't think Liverpool ever looked outright better than us. I thought we took our foot off the gas in the second half for sure. A little too casual, a little too passive, a little too lazy. And I think that just allowed them back into it. Kind of like when City did that against us when they beat us 3-0. Like we looked a little dangerous. Our XG was higher towards the end of the match because they were just chilling, basically. They had 16 shots from inside the box, only 6 on target. So again, they had their chances. They just didn't take them. I thought we made ourselves pretty difficult to break through, just like I said we needed to. So I'm not going to complain about that at all. But what are you guys saying in here in the chat? Slash says Cunha's way stronger. Dude, Cunha is an absolute beast. Like I said yesterday, it's like watching like an old school running back in the NFL. Just keep those legs pumping, man. Shrug off those challenges. It's like Liverpool were trying to play like two-hand touch football. They just couldn't get a hold of him, man. And I'm absolutely here for it. Rob said, I never complained if the players playing for the badge. Yeah, I have no problem with the effort. I mean, we thought we were very good yesterday. So happy with that very much. So get your thoughts in, guys. Like the video. What are you guys saying in the poll so far? So I asked you guys, what's better, beating Liverpool at Anfield or beating them at Old Trafford? 90% of you say beating them at Anfield is better. Walking into their gaff and just handing them the L, that is a good feeling. It also is nice when you've got, 75, 77,000 Old Trafford fans, cheering as you beat them, i.e. FA Cup quarterfinal. I don't think there's a right answer, but surprising to me that is as one-sided as it is. But keep getting involved in that as we go on, because I've got thoughts here. Starting with number one, it was good, but it was not perfect. And I will show you what I mean by that here, because I thought it was good. Still some kind of wrinkles to iron out in as far as the way we played goes. Again, Amorim had a game plan. We saw in a few areas. Kirke's, again, hasn't been great since joining Liverpool, nowhere near what he was at Bournemouth. He is overzealous. He does look a little bit lost sometimes. And in doing so, in vacating that space, like DeLitt pointed out was the game plan, in doing that, Kirke's leaves Van Diklis with a lot of ground to cover. You saw Van Diklis was having to drift over to his left to kind of make up ground, and that just created a channel for Ahmad and Mbeumo to exploit. And then you had Cunha and Mount kind of drifting into those areas as well, just in case there was another opportunity there. And that's how we got that first goal. We got Ahmad and Mbeumo in those areas, used movement and runs, and led to a chance for Bruno, which, and later for Dallo as well. We were creating a lot of chances, and I just think that with a little bit more clinical finishing, like again, Bruno not being able to put that chance away was a big disappointment in my opinion, but it is what it is. With a little bit more clinical finishing like that, or like Dallo when he completely fluffed that opportunity as well, those kind of moments, it really should have been like 3-0 in the first half alone. Like it really should have. We were destroying them. But again, a lot of it had to do with getting Ahmad and Mbeumo involved in those runs on their right-hand side and exposing that space left in behind. And in Laman's helped. He basically tried to pick out those runs, get it wide. I don't have a problem with that. It didn't matter, again, if we won the first ball because we were just so good at winning the second ball as well. And we did, I think everybody put in a shift too. You saw Cunha, for instance, dropping a little deeper. So that's Cunha kind of in the center circle, the lower player in the center circle, dropping in a little deeper to help out as well, to drop back. As you see, the ball is coming to Mbumo on the far right-hand side of your screen, and everyone's trying to focus on winning that first header. We've got players, even attackers, dropping into midfield to get on that second ball. That was the game plan, and we did this time and time again. If you noticed, Casemiro and Bruno throughout the match would also play in a little bit of like a kind of a vertical diamond shape, with one pressing like 10 yards higher than the other who sat deeper. So, someone would go up here and the other would kind of sit here and shift, and then other times it would be opposite. And instead of kind of having this kind of thing where it was a clear shape there, which I like. And that shifted throughout the match. I thought AJ Analysis did a really good job of breaking that down as well. If you watched that video this morning, big up AJ Analysis. I know you probably don't watch the show. You've never even heard of me, but when it comes to tactical, and I didn't steal this from him. It was just good. He kind of lent more explanation to something that I've observed during the match. So I always like to give props for good analysis. What are you guys saying here in the Chizat? Box says Slot has more excuses than Ty from AFTV. Big up, Box. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you do well. Rob says Bruno getting up after missing Van Dikkelis's elbow and getting on the end of Ahmad's through ball. Yeah, that's Virgil Van Dikkelis in a nutshell, man. He's, like I said, people forget that in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, Virgil Van Dikkelis pushes Sergio Ramos into Loris Karius, which basically led to Karius getting a concussion, which you might not have known he got because Liverpool fans were too quick to hound him out of that club, even though they want to blame a concussion. So, yeah, Van Dikkelis does that. I told you guys, he's an absolute coward. Jim says, my partner just got me a box of cans Oktoberfest Brewdog beers. Nice. Well, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Jim. Big up, man. Always enjoy that. It's good. I enjoyed my chicken waffle breakfast bake with some CBS breakfast stout yesterday, which was absolute magic. So that was the good. The not perfect part, again, we were still way too open in midfield, I thought, at times, despite a lot of the shift in positioning, the little more compact shape. I thought, again, there was instances where just too good. In the 20th minute, for instance, Liverpool got it from their box, like in their third, into basically our box with one pass. I think Ahmad tried to get on the end of it, missed it. Gakpo picks it up, cuts inside, takes a shot, hits the post. That happened once or twice. Not a good look. It's still way too easy when things break down. And that's what happens sometimes with the press, especially when you're pressing high up the pitch. If you're able to beat the press, you're very exposed. But again, compact shape. We were sat in a 5-4-1 most of the time. But again, we were cut open just a little too much, especially in those brief moments where we regressed to the mean a little bit with Casemiro and Bruno trying to press a little too aggressively. It just left a little space. And so it's hard to iron that out and get that out of the players so quickly, but it's still there, still in the area needs to be addressed. So Amorim's got to figure that out. And we went full on Jose Mourinho in the final 15 minutes, park it, hit it long, just get it out. But the problem is, it only works when you have players that know how to clear the box. Our players are so bad. The ball drops at feet and everyone's like just turning, spinning, where is it at? And then they grab themselves a goal, an equalizer. Again, that's another instance of just too passive, switched off, a little too lazy, a little too casually. It's another thing we've been poor at for years. I'm always a little leery when we're trying to defend a lead in the last 10 minutes. I always worry that we're going to concede. And that's why, stuff like that, because we tend to drop back, we tend to invite the pressure, and you can't do that when you're not as good at clearing the ball. So we have to do better. Perhaps Amorim can be the manager who finally figures it out, defending balls in the box, clearing the danger, seeing out a result. Let's hope so. We managed it, though, yesterday, despite Michael Oliver doing everything he could to ruin it with 8 minutes of stoppage time that he pulled out of his asshole. I don't know where that came from. Piss take, if I've ever saw one, but we'll see. Bexy in the house. Cunha loves a big occasion, top player. Yeah, he's an absolute beast. He was an animal yesterday. Loved every bit of it. He's the kind of Brazilian who I know I'm like, you've seen some dead bodies in your time, bro. You just don't give a fuck about anybody. Jim says, been watching Liverpool fan cams. I did do a little bit of a hate watch this morning. Somebody in the United vs. Everybody WhatsApp group posted a link to Football Terrace. Terry goes through and kind of does a lot, like recaps all the rival, like the fans watching and watching Hassam. That never gets old watching Hassam. Debassi's in the house. Long time no see. So they won't walk alone, and now they won't cry alone. They will cry alone. They'll always cry alone. Get yourself some Scouse tears, you guys. You'll always cry alone. Um, Warbzo's in the house. Good to see the old heads coming in here. Happy with the result, especially when they got one back. Very easy to get swallowed up at Anfield, lose your heads. But they did well to get another goal. Still not convinced by the performance. It was good. I thought the performance was good, but yeah, like I was just pointed out, there were some holes. There were some of the same old mistakes creeping back in. So we got to do better. But I thought that when you go to Anfield with a game plan and you execute that game plan and impose your will and control, I have no complaints about that. It was like the FA Cup final 2 years ago. Oh, next Friday. Well, happy early birthday then, Jim. You're throwing me off, dude. Let me get you guys in here. Slabdini. I still like my Herodona. That's my favorite one. I'm copywriting that one as well, just like I'm copywriting Van Dickless. So you guys can't take that. So Bexley says, how do you think Martinez will help when he's back? I think he's going to do just fine. I thought Luke Shaw had a good game yesterday. As I watched it back this morning while I was working out, I think I underrated Luke Shaw a little bit, because if you watch some of the shit that he was doing, some of the clutch challenges and stuff, that one where he was like last line of defense on a counterattack because of a shit free kick that we just fumbled. Ball gets all the way in, and he came in, did what he needed to do. There was another instance where he came sliding in to clear a ball just outside of our box. Another instance where he had the ball, poor touch, I think, poor pass from Casemiro, a bit of a hospital pass. Shaw shrugs off solid with ease, and just able to get out. Like, I thought, like, I might go back. Like, I don't remember what I gave Shaw yesterday, but I might go back and say, yeah, give him an extra point, because he was actually very good. Not saying I would start him over Leach. I'm just saying Leach, what Shaw was doing, I think Leach will do very well. The question with both of them is just the fitness. So, but I think Martinez will help. I think he's the best defender we have when it comes to the playing out from the back, comfortable on the ball, aggression and whatnot. I think he suits that position very well. And so having a fit Shaw and a fit Leach fight over starting spot. Again, you've got Heaven in there, Yoro, who didn't really get a start yesterday. That's not a bad problem to have. And so I like it. No problem with it. Danny says, fuck it, give Slab wage cut. Danny. Danny has come over to the dark side. I said yesterday, I don't have a problem with Maguire staying for a year if he takes a pay cut. If he were still starting week in, week out, it'd be different. But you can't give that much money to a rotation out squad player, basically. But like Harry Maguire, man, if we win a trophy this year and he plays a crucial role in that, the dude needs a statue, like a knee slide statue outside of Old Trafford. We've got quite a few statues out there already, but we'll find a spot for you, Harry. Don't worry, you're a wizard, Harry. Skinny Bob in the house, new to the channel, you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. Is it just me, or was there a collective universal knowledge that United were going to score before Bruno took that corner? I mean, I never 100% confident. I'm just not with those kind of moments. But I think that there was a bit of, going into the match, I do think there was a level of confidence. Maybe that had to do with Liverpool's form. Maybe that had to do with Sunderland. Maybe that was the whole, could we win 2 in a row, which is a sad space to be in. I don't know. But were you confident? Did you get that feeling? It sounds like you might have. I'm never 100% confident. I was probably more confident with the Bruno chance than I was with anything else. And he absolutely fluffed that one. So, Warbs says, yeah, Shaw was good. Whole back three. Yeah. A lot of us were worried with that back three, but I think I said ahead of the match, it was the same back three that dominated against Chelsea. And if you play them right, if they're totally fine. We can't play that back three in a high line because we'll get destroyed. And we didn't. And I don't have a problem with the way we played. They did the job. So it's absolute beast mode settings. Lexi says, Mountain Shaw holding up well, all in all, playing a game a weekend. Yeah, one match a week should not be a problem whatsoever for any of these players. I'm sorry, it shouldn't at all. And if they want to complain about only playing one, that's your fault. We were in the Carabao Cup. Y'all fucked that one up. We had a chance against Spurs in the final. You fucked that one up too. So y'all can deal with it. So Rob says, Sir Jim still needs to buy us some CBs, whether Harry stays or not. Well, we got a little bit of a thing to cover on that one too. So keep watching. I haven't even done my second point yet. So we're getting there. But big up everybody. Danny's got a suggestion in there for you. So that was my first one. Good, but not perfect. Like the performance, still some kind of the same issues popping up here and there. So we'll iron that out. But I like what I saw yesterday. Moving on to number two. Um, Again, not trying to cry, the sky is falling or anything, but again, just a thought I had. But is there a place for Xerxes in this system, in this side? I want to know what you guys think. Another match, another spot on the bench, another false nine starting 11 with Shesko on the bench, and yet another role as an unused sub for Joshua Xerxes this season. Just the 3 league appearances for him, just 75 minutes total in the Premier League this season. 8 minutes against Grimsby Town as well, by the way. So it's not like he's getting a ton of minutes personally. I don't know what you guys think about that. The most minutes he's had this season, Xerxes, is 60 minutes against Burnley. He's been fit enough for the bench, but Amorim doesn't really seem to have a role for him in this system. Even when Shesko wasn't starting, and again, yesterday Shesko didn't start, Amorim opted for a false nine with like Mount, Bruno, and yesterday Cunha instead of playing Xerxes. This is, of course, this season, the last couple weeks especially, led to rumors that Xerxes might want to leave in January to go and get minutes in order to maybe get selection for the World Cup this summer. I get it, but if that's your main focus and you want to leave because you want to go to the World Cup, instead of sticking and working hard and challenging yourself at United, that's a problem for me. I don't like that. The same goes for Cobby too, by the way. But I'll be honest, Xerxes doesn't look as upset about this as the media would have you think. I mean, he comes on after the final whistle. He's laughing. He's joking. He's celebrating with his teammates. He's getting involved. Look at this guy. Does that look like a guy who wants to leave the club? I don't think so. You guys let me know your thoughts. Because to me, that doesn't look like a guy who wants to leave. You guys let me know. What are you guys saying in here? Let's see. Big up Sanjay in the house. Good to see you. Hope you're doing, man. Where are you at this year? It's like a game. Where in the world is Sanjay? Let me know where you're at, dude. Rob says, us going out of the EFL Cup has harmed the fringe players, but our bench looks decent this season. Yeah, it's a good place to be in, right? To be able to look and say, hey, we've got players who are doing their thing, players who are able to come off the bench and help us out. So I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. But I think that some of those players obviously are going to want to play more. But again, they've got to show it in training. It's an old adage, the players pick the team, and that's part of it. But I do like the bench is looking a little better now. It doesn't mean they're all world-class players, no offense, but we'll see. But are you upset by Xerxes' lack of minutes? I mean, everyone was up in arms about Kobbie Mainoo. Do you have that same energy for Xerxes? He was bought for Ten Hag, not for Ruben Amorim. He was an Ineos purchase, though, so it is kind of an overarching squad-building thing. Is that a factor, though, that it was a Ten Hag thing? I don't think Xerxes was ever going to be the main striker for us, but should he be getting more minutes? If he's happy to work hard, accept a backup like squad role as a false 9 or a 9 or a 10 even, if somebody needs a rest or if somebody picks up a knock. And he pitches in with like double-digit goals and assists like combined in all comps. I'm good with it if that's what he's good with. I don't have a problem with it. We need squad players like Rob was saying. They are much more important than people think. Being ready, being motivated, being focused, dedicated, committed to play for the badge, even if you're not in the starting 11 week in, week out, and you kind of know that's your role. That's an underrated quality. And it doesn't mean you're weak-minded. It's just not everyone's in the starting 11. It just is what it is. Danny thinks Amorim thrives with Mbeumo Cunha. Well, he should, because we bought him this summer, and they cost about 130 mil total, so he needs to. Bexy says Xerxes is too slow for the Premier League. I mean, he wasn't too slow against Arsenal, let me tell you. The dude favorite spice to cook with is nutmeg, let me tell you that much. And he scored in his debut for us against Fulham last season. So Notas says he doesn't rate him, thinks he was a panic buy. Interesting. Let's see. Danny says we'll see him during the Africa Cup of Nations. That's true. We're going to be missing quite a few players unless they come down with the international break flu, which I do hope some of them do. But that's Cunha gone. That's Ahmad gone. That's Mazraoui gone as well. So a couple players. Who else? I feel like I'm leaving someone out, but let me know if I am. Sanjay's going to London tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, my wife is in Glastonbury still. She'll be back this weekend, so she's been chilling at a writing conference. I told her go check out Glastonbury Town FC and get me a scarf if she gets some time. um, let's see here. Skinny Bob says Xerxes is a 10. Second last link in a counter. I think it could work. Yeah, I don't think he's a striker. I definitely think, like I said, I think he's like a McTominay, but a McTominay made of silk. Better in that advanced role, good at kind of bridging the gap between deeper midfield and getting it to a striker. We've seen he's got excellent footwork. He's really good at holding that ball up. He's not, I don't think he's ever going to be your 20 goals. I don't even think he's a 15 goal a season attacker, but we'll see. Jim says Xerxes would be good as backup, but I don't think he'll be happy. Well, we'll see. He looked happy in the footage I just showed you, so we'll see. Big up Jarvis. Jarvis in the house, man. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well today, my friend. You doing a video tonight? Let me know. Jim says Xerxes is a good backup. Hopefully, yeah. Let's see. If he's happy with it, he's happy with it. Bexy says now Xerxes ain't the one. He may not be the one, but is he the backup to the one? That's the question. So we'll see how it goes. Sanjay thinks Manu is overrated. Shots fired from Sanjay. Jarvis says, should we prioritize replacing Dallo next summer? Should we spend our money on more urgent positions? That's a good question. If I had to answer now, I would probably say no, simply because we've got Mazraoui, we've got Dorgu. We do have guys like Camus and Montato coming through the academy as well. My priority right now is definitely going to be midfield. Just it is what it is. But I said yesterday, like Dallo, he was probably the weakest link yesterday. His defending is suspect. What was that clearance that he tried that went straight to, was it Izak or something? He fluffed that ball. It could have been 3-0 in the first half. Dallo, Bruno should have put away. I don't know what Dallo's doing. He's horrible in 1v1s. He can't control the ball, man. Like, the guy's got to go. And we'll make money too, even if we sell him now when he's like not looking great. We'll still make money on him from what we paid. So, but Dallo is definitely something we need to do. I don't know if I'd call it my priority, but everybody's different. Jarvis, what do you think, man? Is he priority for? I mean, he doesn't have that Jarvis chop playing on the left. I can tell you that much right now. He definitely don't have that Jarvis chop, bro. He needs to get them Predators is what he needs. Begg says, United seem a lot more athletic this season. Well, that was the plan. If you remember preseason, every player had their own kind of regime. They had their own fitness, their own diet, their own workout plan. Everybody's different. Casemiro came back looking cut. Everybody looks more athletic. To be fair to Dallo, that's probably his best quality is he is athletic. He does get up and down the pitch. It's just what happens when he's 1v1 where it tends to fall apart, dude. Danny says definitely replace him. Yeah, definitely replace him. I just don't know if it'd be my priority. I'd go get a couple midfielders. Go get me like a Adam Wharton and a Elliot Anderson midfield, and I'm happy with that. And then we can focus on maybe selling some players. Maybe replace Xerxes. Maybe replace Dallo. Maybe we think about what's going on with Shaw and Licha if they can't stay fit. We still got to sell guys. People will forget. Technically, we still have Rashford, Sancho, Onana on the books. Like we're not paying all their wages, but they will technically be United players at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens, dude. Whatever says Dallo is a rubbish, definitely a priority. Yeah, he's a priority. He's not the priority, I guess is the best way for me to put it, though. Bexy says Dallo was decent. I don't know if we were watching the same match. I thought he was the worst player on the pitch yesterday for us. I don't think it's a thing that he's a bad player all of a sudden. I just don't think Dallo's ever been great because his final ball is not great. He's suspect the last couple of years, especially for failing to close down opposition attackers with the ball. We've conceded a lot of goals simply because he does not close down the ball, and he's just allowed balls into the box. Chelsea match, when they scored a bunch of bullshit a couple of years back to win that one. Brighton, heavily involved in that one as well. Like, he's got to get tired of the ball. He's just not good in that. For a guy he's such an athlete, like in that regard, it's like he doesn't back himself in those situations. And that's a mental thing. He needs to get down on that. Yes, the Jarvis chop, dude. That was a silky touch, man. A little drop of the shoulder, a little chopperoo. Big up, man. I need to get the pitch. I told you and Stu, man, if you guys want to organize a YouTube 5-a-side or a little scrimmage, man, call me, man. I'll fly out tomorrow. I must have put in like 100 free kicks last week just practicing, man. My legs were dying all weekend, though, let me tell you. And my house is just fucking stairs. So I was like taking breaks going up the stairs. It was killing me. Skinny Bob says Manu just turned 20. Not having cup competitions in Europe really is hindering his development. And then you think about half a season loan. And the thing is, too, with Manu, people forget. So he's literally only been in the first team technically for just like 2 years now. Remember, he was injured in the start of the 23-24 season, didn't come in till around Thanksgiving. And since then, he's actually missed 38 games through injury with multiple different injuries. So he's also, since he started in the first team, he's also missed the equivalent of an entire Premier League season due to injury. So I'm not saying he's a flop or anything like that. I'm just saying he's young, like you say. And I've said this before. He's young. He's not quite there yet. He did really well, I think, to bulk up over the summer and everything, but he's not there yet. And he has to understand that, yes, you've been here for 2 years, but you've also technically missed one of those with injuries. So he's got a lot of learning to do. And I think some of that is not just on the pitch. Some of that is going to be the decision making and stuff. Are you prioritizing World Cup, or are you trying to get your head down and work hard and accept that right now maybe you're just not number one on the starting 11? And that's fine. Notas says maybe Ineos have stepped up in the regime at Carrington as well, building and facilities. Yeah, and that does play a role. And as far as mentality goes, if you walk in and you're proud of the facilities, you're happy to be there, you're excited, that does play a role. It just does. I mean, like you can't discount that as an X factor in all this. So Bexy says, what do you think of Kane for 2 seasons? Kane for 2 seasons, maybe 4 years ago when we got, like 3 years ago when we got Hoyland, I don't have a problem with Kane at all. He's going to want a lot of money. He's going to be expensive. So, but what do you guys think? Skinny Bob says Sancho shouldn't step foot into Manchester again. Yeah, Rob, and I've said that as well when it comes to Manu being so young. You don't stop really growing as a young man until like your early 20s, 22, 23, 24-ish. And that's something they teach you in like some of the talent identification courses I've done with the PFSA, is like when you're going and you're scouting like these young kids, like these 11, 12, 13-year-olds especially, you have to kind of reserve a little bit of judgment because a lot of those guys haven't hit growth spurts yet. They could play differently. Growth could affect people different ways. There's biological age compared to like skill age. That's where bio banding comes into play, that's where you group players based on their skill, not just their age. The FA has a weird cutoff point for ages as well, and that does kind of muddy up the works. It's so weird how it works, but you're absolutely right. He's still developing, so it could be a tough match. We'll be doing a preview for that a little later on this week. You guys make sure you stop by for that. And I've got my best 11 under 20 World Cup scouting report video coming out as well. So Jarvis says, I definitely look to sell Dallo in the summer, but only on a sell to buy basis. Midfielder reinforcements are a bigger priority. Yeah, we need midfielders because I don't know Casemiro will probably be gone. I don't know what's going on with Ugarte. Don't really know. Can we say with any certainty what's going on with Bruno? I don't know, but it is what it is. Not going to complain too much. Let's go into number 3 here on my thoughts. So let me do this over here. So remember to get those like buttons in, you guys. Number 3, could we have a bit of a swan song season? Oh, you can't see Harry Maguire because he's covered by the Glazers out. But so we'll just pretend he's wearing a mask for Halloween. How's that sound? But yeah, a few of our players, our senior players, a few of the futures for them are kind of up in the air. But if this is the final season in a United shirt for guys like Casemiro, guys like Bruno, guys like Harry Maguire, then they're pushing to go out on a high because, I mean, I'm not saying for sure they're leaving. Again, we don't know. But again, that's why there's a question mark there. I'm not saying that I want them to leave necessarily, but this could be their last season at Old Trafford. Maguire's contract is technically up in the summer. Technically, right? Now there's talks of renewing and whatnot. I don't know what you guys think about that. Everybody's going to have a different opinion on that, of course. But I think that if he continues to do what he's been doing, I don't think there's a problem with that. There's rumors that we'd like to extend that contract if he agrees to lower his wages, which Danny B has crossed over to our side now, and he agrees to that. But again, I don't have a problem with it, especially if Licha and Shaw, if their injuries creep back up, then we're going to need someone like Maguire to come in and do a job, right? I think Maguire, honestly, he's been a professional. He leads by example. People think he's not a leader. He may not be captain material, but he's still a leader because he's professional. He got stripped of the title of the captain's armband. He has kind of got a lot of criticism. He's not a regular in starting 11 anymore, and he still comes in and delivers in big matches. Europa League last season, Anfield yesterday. I like that one. And it's like yesterday, man. Not all heroes wear capes. The guy went and did a knee slide in front of the fucking Scousers yesterday after scoring that goal. I mean, if you can't get behind that, if you can't say yeah, then maybe football's not for you. But he was an absolute beast, and he delivers every time he's on the pitch. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not saying he's world class and we need to start and build around him, but you cannot deny Harry Maguire's work rate and his attitude and his professionalism in a United shirt. You just can't. Casemiro too is sort of coming near the end of his contract, right? We know that that's going to be a thing. I don't think that that's any secret. He has come back from preseason fitter, like I said, more energized. I think he's getting around the pitch really, really well. I don't have a problem with that either. But we know that his contract's up. Now, there were some rumors I saw that maybe he would be getting another contract. I don't know, but if he's putting in solid performances like that, I mean, he won 6 out of 8 duels against Liverpool. He was calm, controlling in midfield, knew how to win those second balls and be patient to wait for him. 3 tackles, 2 clearances as well. People forget he scored against Chelsea as well, Casemiro. So I think that there's something to be said for someone who can do that job when they're called upon. I don't know. I'd be fine if he left, though, because he's on high wages. Bruno bagged another assist to another player whose future could be up in the air. Perfect ball into the box for Maguire, which is where that header came from. That's Bruno's first assist this season. He already scored 2 goals. He scored against Chelsea too, like Casemiro, but Bruno was man of the match in that one. Again, so Bruno's start to the season was a bit shaky. Remember, I said he was our worst player against Arsenal, even though we were the better team in that side. He was our worst player. He's definitely not as effective in a deeper role. It is what it is. It's not necessarily his fault. He's not a 6. It just is what it is. But I think that regressing to the mean right now in Bruno's context this season has meant an upward trend, because he started well below where his average is, and now he's getting back to where he's used to be. I think with fewer competitions, right? No Europe, no Carabao Cup, you're definitely going to see his numbers dip because there's just a lack of matches for him to play in. But we'll see what happens. He was heavily rumored to be of interest to Al Hilal over the summer. He reportedly turned that down, but recent reports suggest too that maybe he could still leave. But reportedly, if he does leave, he wouldn't want to go to the Saudi League. He'd probably want to remain in Europe. Bottom line is, we know how good Bruno is. So if this is to be his last season for us, let's enjoy it. Let's support him. Let's try to get behind him. I don't know what's going to happen with these 3 guys, Casemiro, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes. But again, this could be a swan season for them. We will chat in the next couple weeks in terms of what this could mean for Ruben Amorim as well, because I want to know where you guys think about last season and this season. Has there been progress? He will have been here for a year and like another month, so we'll talk about that when we get there. But let me know what you think about this potentially being final season for some of those guys. Let's get into some shout outs here for a second, because I got a special shout out for Senna Lamens here, who's just reminding us once again of the difference that a competent goalkeeper is. Turn that down. Coming off his line to do that. Let's watch that again. Hold up. Senses the danger, comes off his line, closes down the angles, just like he did at Sunderland, to force that ball wide. Look at no angle left whatsoever. Absolutely in love with Senna Lamens. You guys know when we were scouting him back in the spring that I was absolutely head over heels when we signed him. I've been pushing for him for months, and I'm super glad that we got him. Shout out to Matheus Cunha, who is an absolute warrior, gives 200% every time he puts on a shirt. Just imagine what it's going to be like when he starts scoring goals. Let me get caught up in the chat because it's been a minute. Hold up. Rob does not want Harry Kane. Interesting. Jim says we would not get the productivity out of Kane for the price. Yeah, remember he was going to cost like 100, and Daniel Levy, who's no longer at Spurs, was definitely not going to sell it to us. 94% of you still say it's better to beat Liverpool at Anfield than it is to beat them at Old Trafford. I guess it is fun to go into the Lions then, to go into their house and just slap them up a little bit. Don't have a problem with that. Skinny Bob says, drop Maynard to reserves, pump him full of under-the-table German supplements. To be fair, he did bulk up a bit over the summer, and he is coming back strong. Nota says, I think we'll renew Harry, but Cass will go off into the sunset, play in Italy. He could go to Al Nasser and just do his thing there and make bank. He could make literally $500,000 a week for the next 2 seasons and do just fine. I don't think he's got a problem with that. Warbler says the dip in performance when Cass was taken off was so evident. Yeah, and like I said yesterday, what Cass looks, and used to get the same vibes when Johnny Evans was playing or when Varane was playing. He just oozes experience. He just knows what to do, where to be. Yes, he's slow. I don't have a problem with him getting the yellow yesterday for that tactical foul. That's part of the game, but it is what it is. I love the taste of Scout's tears. So good. Salty, bitter, but delicious nonetheless. Give you energy, keep you pumped. Rob says, I don't want Casemiro or Harry next season. Thanks for the service, but things don't last forever. So the question then, and Rob, is if Leacha can't stay fit, if Shaw can't stay fit, and Harry Maguire leaves, that leaves us with just Heaven, Euro, De Ligt, and possibly Mazraoui as our center backs, which that's not enough. You could potentially be without 3 center backs, 3 senior center backs, if that's the case. So then your priorities go from, hey, we need midfielders. So now, we need midfielders and maybe a fullback, because we've also seen rumors that United really want another wingback. And now we need center backs. I don't think many more of the youngsters are quite ready to start to be brought into that first team in terms of center backs. And so now the financial priorities. So if it costs you $100K a week or $125K a week to keep Maguire around, I think I'd probably opt for that to start. And it sounds like me being cheap. It's not being cheap. It's me just being cautious, because I'd rather lose 2 center backs to injury than lose 2 center backs to injury and lose another one who does a good job. So I don't have a problem with it for another 2 years, but y'all let me know. Warbler says, I was screaming when I saw him do that. That's purely natural from him. I think we got a really good goalkeeper, man. He's an absolute beast. Rob says, quality keeping, reducing the target. Yeah. And it's simple. Like, it's so simple, right? Like, we're praising that. Or like when Sunderland coming out and claiming those balls, like just coming off your line, grabbing we're praising it, but that's basic level goalkeeping. Or how about it's like, I think what was underrated was his save against Isak. When Isak was clear on through, he just saves it, man. And then he saved that other shot after the fact. But Bexy says Onana was a liability. He lost it. Yeah, and that's the thing that we talked about. Dylan was saying it against Sunderland. Like, the difference that a competent goalkeeper makes for everyone else, like, they just look calmer. Maybe a little too calm yesterday. There was some laziness going on in there, but DJ, welcome, DJ Laz Worldwide. I want to say it like that. DJ Laz Worldwide says, hey, we need to sign a mid in January so Bruno can stay at 10. I have no problem signing a mid in January. I did a video a couple weeks, maybe was that last week? I can't remember now. January targets. Go check that one out. Scouting report had a lot to do with potential table position, i.e. Wolves. Contract situation, because some of those players are out of contract in the winter or in the summer. Sometimes the league's off season for some of those players as well. So go check that one out as well. Bexy says Ugarte just hasn't delivered. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, we got reports last week that apparently somebody has inside information, but apparently one of the things Amorim said in that dressing room situation where he called out Garnacho, apparently, reportedly, he also told Ugarte, like, you're not the same player that you were at Sporting, which probably true. He left to go to PSG when he was very, very young. He is a straight up just dog in midfield. His job is he's just there to harangue the opposition, to win the ball back and put in some tackles. He's not composed on the ball. Doesn't have a great passing range. He's a little bit like McTominay in that when he gets into a sprint and he runs into the final third, he can cause a bit of problem in the opposition area, but that's about it. His footballing IQ is not that great either. He's there for the energy. He's there to disrupt, and that's fine. But I think we need to raise our standards a little bit now to where we can't just say, okay, we've got one midfielder who does the defensive side and another one does it. We need midfielders who can do a little of both. Is basically the gist. Get you Adam Morton, get you Elliot Anderson. You're locked up for the next 10 years, and you're good to go. So, but I hear it. Jarvis says, aside from the results, are you happy with the performance? I'm very happy with the performance. There were still some holes in there, like I pointed out in my first thought. It was good the way we went in with a game plan, the way we executed the game plan, but still the same old stuff kind of creeped in a little bit, i.e., too easy to get through in some occasions through midfield, sleeping on balls into the box, not clearing the danger, shit like that. Um, he says, feels like a lucky break that hides the same issue. Our pivot still gets carved open. No, I think you're right. We do get carved open, but I do think that the way we played yesterday, especially midfield, was different. Now, whether that was making us more patient and compact or the game plan of waiting for those second balls, whatever it was, it worked. And I don't have a problem with it. So I'm happy that it worked. We could keep doing stuff like that, no problem. Not necessarily let's go long ball all the time, but if Casemiro and Bruno can do that a little bit, Cunha drops a little deep. If you saw, we were basically sitting in a 5-4-1 at times. We were just a little bit more patient, which I don't have a problem with. You know, it's at Anfield. Liverpool, the onus is on them. So Arne Slot can be all as butthurt as he wants about long balls. They played 10 more long balls than we did, and we were focused on the second ball, which they're shit at. So how about go have a go at your players for being shit at winning second balls, man? Fucking asshole. Sorry. So yeah, still some same old stuff popping up, Jarvis, but I do like the way in isolation again. I liked what I saw yesterday. It reminded me again of that FA Cup final against City where we just went in with a game plan and we executed it and we did just fine. I'm not going to say it's papering over cracks. I'm not going to say 21 is coming. I'm just saying what we did yesterday, we did very, very well, and I'm happy with that. So again, wasn't perfect, but it was good. Rob says we need another quality CB in the last transfer window. Mid needs addressing. Well, we brought in Aiden Heaven last January, and he is, I think, very, very good. He picked up a little bit of a knock recently, but I think that Aiden Heaven's good. He is a first-team player, so we technically did. He's young, but we technically did. So, but yes, midfield for me priority. Yeah, Bex, we talked about that a little bit the other week. He did start in Der Klassiker, which Dortmund were just absolutely destroyed. I don't know if you guys watched that over the weekend. I forgot it was on, and then I saw it was on, and I was like, "Oh, awesome!" They were not good, Dortmund. They were getting destroyed, and he was at fault for one of the goals they conceded. Ball just got caught under his feet, and it was pounced upon and stabbed home because it got caught in his feet, like right on his goal line. So he's definitely not as good as his brother. He plays a little bit different role than his brother, but he's nowhere near as good. He's probably a couple levels down, in my opinion, but. Yes, DJ Last Worldwide. I hope that we do win the next game. We'll be back with that preview later on this week of that Brighton match because it could be a banana skin, could not be. We'll see. Not going to say we're back because it's 2 in a row. We're celebrating 2 in a row for the first time under Amorim, but we are celebrating it nonetheless. Because apparently Amorim is now the only manager to win away at both the Etihad and Anfield in the last 5 seasons in the Premier League. So, and that's coming from Opta. So who knows what that means? I'm definitely not the kind of guy who is willing to rest on our laurels, like one win, even a win over Liverpool. That's not me saying, okay, everything's good. Still some criticism. They still need to do better in a lot of things. Amorim still's got to show that he can do stuff like this more often. So I'm not a rest on your laurels guy. I am more of a, okay, well done, but now do it again kind of guy. Like that's just the way I am. Maybe that's harsh. Maybe that's just too quick to move on. I don't care what it is. Ferguson did the same exact thing after they won Champions League final. He called Steve McLaren and said, hey, tomorrow, 9 a.m., literally the day they won the final. They're like, tomorrow, 9 a.m., get back in the office. We're working. Like, that's how I am. Like, cool, well done. Don't celebrate. Let's go. Players can celebrate. Amorim can't. He's got to keep it up. We will be keeping an eye on the overlap this week. We're going to be on fraud watch right now for Jamie Carragher. He tends to be nowhere to be found when the Scousers lose. So if anyone wants to take any bets on whether or not he'll show up, you guys can let us know. He was getting in all the excuses, though, man. But that's always what he does. He always does it when he's on punditry duty, when he's not in the overlap and there's a bit more of a back and forth. He can't get away with it he'll get called out, especially if he goes on to the fan forum one, the overlap, and you have people like Adam McCall or something on there giving it the big one. So, I mean, he's got no room to talk. Liverpool broke the transfer record twice this summer, and neither of those players has any goal involvements in the league since joining the Bin Dippers. Like, literally, Harry Maguire's got more goals in the Premier League than, at Anfield as Salah, Isak, Wirtz combined. Like, he just does. It just is what it is. So, Notes Oz thinks Jimmy Garricker is spitting mad. I'm just saying. Again, how is that legal? I don't understand how he didn't get arrested for that. Bexy said Liverpool didn't lose at home for 400. I mean, I don't know the exact number because I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm sure they were all keeping track of it, and now they probably all just forgot about it. But you let me know if you got the number. So, but I just don't get why money doesn't matter. I guess if you play long balls, because apparently that's all it takes to completely derail draft transfer records broken, all that money spent, all that stuff. All it takes is a couple long balls and you get the job done. So who knew? It's just so funny. Everybody comes here, they changes. Everybody comes here and they play back a deep line and they sit in a low block. Maybe just figure out a better way to beat it then. I don't know what to tell you. You're supposed to be this great manager, apparently. But 94% of you, after 18 votes, say it is better to beat the Scousers at Anfield. So I'm going to end that poll as we're going to wrap it up here today. Good chat. Thank you guys for indulging me in my 3 thoughts. Thank you for getting involved in the chat. A really good chat today. You really get involved in the poll. Please make sure you like the video. Please make sure you subscribe if you are new. Check those memberships on how you can get more involved. Go check out the Unitedverse Everybody's store. New designs in there this morning for anyone interested in that as well. So check those out. And please, if you have a couple seconds after this video goes and wraps up, go click on some of the older videos on your phone and just hit that hype button. YouTube is just constantly changing the way that they promote channels, and they've added that now. But it does help the channel. It is free. We love seeing the community grow. I love getting more people involved. So appreciate you guys if you would take that. So Rob says 100 millions and they can't cope with it long. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. So take it easy, you guys. Laugh at the Liverpool fan in your life. It's a trick question because there shouldn't be any Liverpool fans in your life. But if you see one, laugh and point too while you're at it. It's always fun to do that, especially if you're in a public space. Point, laugh, and if they have no idea what you're talking about, they do. They'll just pretend. So take it easy, you guys. Remember to come back for Under 20 World Cup Best 11 video and the Brighton preview later on this week. Until then, enjoy your day. I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.